y'all see the man himself now. You got to hear his voice when the day for him really begun, but you couldn't necessarily see him nor us. Now the sun is up. Here's Captain Mark Smith of the Wild Hogg that we've been riding on all day. So now how long you had the Wild Hogg?
2 years.
2 years, so this is a baby boat.
Yeah.
So what did you have before this?
The high tide.
So what made you change the names?
Power.
Okay.
And names, did you change names? Did you change boat? You changed names.
So what happened to high tide?
High tide, I sold it, it's sunk now.
Oh, you sold it and they had sunk it.
Yeah.
What's with this practice of sinking boats if you can't sell it?
If you can't sell it, you gotta sink it to get rid of it.
Why? Why not pull it out the water?
I mean, you just don't have nothing else to do with it. It's not valuable. It's not, you know, it's not good for nothing else.
So, because that just sounds like a lot of stuff, like a lot of people do all this deep sea diving now to find pirate ships, and they hope to find old slave relics and other things, so they do a lot of diving. Yeah. But it sounds they can find a whole lot of boats down there then.
Yeah. What they usually do is they strip them off, get the engines out, the clutches out and stuff like that, take all the fuel off, and use them for wrecks. Fish like the haven around them. So that's what they'll use them for, fish havens.
And so usually the fish are there because barnacles and stuff start to grow on it.
Right.
So they can feed on those and the algae and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So now how long have you been out here doing this type of work?
35 years.
So what made you choose this?
Money.
The money.
The money. It was fast money.
Really?
Yeah.
So who taught you how to do it?
George Ford, the old man, shrimper. He died, I think, 3 years ago. He started me shrimping.
Where was he from?
Port Royal.
Okay, and so that's where you still have your company today.
Yeah.
So now, when did you actually start your own company?
About 4 years ago.
Oh, only 4 years ago. All right, it seemed like you've been here forever. It seemed like we've been hearing about your company so long. Right. I thought it was much older than 4 years.
Yeah, well, Port Royal Shrimp is 4 years old, and I've been shrimping for myself. I've been in business for myself going on 15 years.
Okay. So now what made you decide to, instead of, let's say, hustling seafood, actually go into it full term as a business, full-fledged as a business?
Well, I mean, you know, with the economy, I had to broaden my horizon. I had to see what was out there. And the only way you could do it, you know, legally is, you know, go through a market or company. So that's why I thought I'd try the seafood experience, and I like it so far.
It looks like you like it, because, I mean, it's not often y'all see that, right? You see how he moving this boat? You see he using his feet? Y'all like, oh, they must be anchored. No, we're moving. So that's the thing, you know, when somebody knows their craft, they can relax into it. And so it's interesting, do you have like a family history of people who worked out here in the waterway?
No. Out of my whole family, I mean, we're a big, Robinsons is a big family, and I think it's just me and my uncle is the only two that done it.
And what did your uncle do?
My uncle's shrimping down in Apalachicola, Florida.
All right. So he has his own boats down there too?
He just bought his boat, his first boat, after the oil spill. He did a lot of work for the oil spill, and then he went and bought his own boat.
Nice. So now, this is the interesting thing, because if you're a captain, and then people call sometimes hands, or they say deck hands, they have other names for folks that work on the boat. What are really the titles and positions for folks that work on a boat like this?
Crew.
Crew, just, I mean, everybody's crew, but I mean, when you break it down, is it just either the captain and the deckhand, that's the only separation?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, all I call it as a captain and my crew.
And that's it.
That's it.
And that's it. And so now I know
They don't like the term deckhand.
They don't. Why not?
They
Find
just,
insulting?
Yeah, they just don't like that.
Okay, but crew is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cultural, don't you?
Right.
Because I think we used to saying crew for numerous things,
yeah.
And it does sound different than hand,
yeah.
Especially in this area.
Yeah.
Because that can be kind of plantation, like when we hear the term hand.
There you go.
Yeah, so I can understand why they wouldn't want to hear that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, I can understand totally. So now you mainly focus on shrimping.
Yes.
Why did you pick shrimping when there's so many other things, crabbing, fishing, clamming, oyster picking?
Well, shrimping to me it takes a special person to learn how to catch shrimp and to know how to catch shrimp.
You just say that because you one of them, right?
Well, no, I really believe that God has blessed me with this talent on
Yes.
catching shrimp. And,
Yes.
and that's what I believe. That's what I'm gonna stick with because I'm good at it.
I understand
Not bragging, but I'm good at it. So this is what I do, and this is how I make my living, and I make a good living at it.
Right. So now, once you bring the shrimps in, you have your own market then?
Yes.
Okay.
My own market to sell my own shrimp. I can decide to sell to whoever I want to, or for how much I ever want to. And if they don't want to buy it, I put it in the freezer.
Got you. And so now when we talk about freezers, we talk about commercial freezers and all of that. And so even on these types of boats, you have to have ice and all of this so that you keep everything fresh until you get it back in even to the dock.
Right.
And then, so now, what other things are required? When you talk about being a shrimper, what's something that people who like to eat it, but they're not out here in the waterway, they wouldn't really think about it, that you have to go through or deal with as a shrimper?
Or you have to deal with the regulations, permits. It's just regulations and permits is the biggest things. You got to have the right permits to do it. You got to have the right regulation to do it. You have to have the right equipment to do it. Electronics to do it. It takes more than just one thing. But my thing is it takes a good rig to catch a shrimp. It takes know-how, and then you got to have something behind you that's going to catch the shrimp. You just can't pull junk and believe that you're going to catch shrimp and make money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, you got to spend a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to keep these things going. I make a lot of money, but I spend a lot of money on this shrimp boat.
Right, you have to put the investment in order to get something back, a return on it.
Right.
So now, it seemed to me that it also takes a lot of patience.
Oh yeah, you got to have patience. You got to have a lot of patience. Because if you don't, you'll miss out every single time.
Because I noticed one of the things y'all do is you drop the first net that y'all call a try net.
Right.
And then, which is literally, you try to see what's in that location. Right? Before you actually drag with your bigger nets.
Right.
But I noticed that 1 minute, you bring stuff up, some of it ain't even shrimp. You got all this other stuff that some people in environmental things might call bycatch that you have that's not what you're interested in. You got sharks, you got jellyfish and or stingrays and everybody trying to come aboard. But now you may get a count of 60 one time, but then you try to net somewhere else and get a count of 6.
Right.
So now, obviously if somebody wants to rush and do it, they would be discouraged if they count was 6.
Oh yeah. Well, and it happens. I mean, I've been here 35 years, and it happens to me. You know, shrimps is different. You got to know how they run. You got to know how they swimming, what the tide is doing, what the moon is doing, what the wind is doing. You got to learn a lot. You just can't come and do it. And my advice to anybody who just want to get in it, get on the deck. Work on the deck 4 or 5 years before you decide to buy a shrimp boat.
Yeah, because this might not be the thing for you.
Exactly.
You might actually find that.